Let's get visible.
Let's get into visions, yeah. Huh?
Hey! What's going on? That was so enthusiastic.
We got little party clown over here.
What?
Well,
there we go. We
there.
just needed some. We needed some.
Why am I a
Cindy
party
energy.
clown?
Because you had the opposite level of enthusiasm of a party clown. It's called sarcasm. I can has it.
I can has. So how's it going, Colin?
For serious,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. We made a
Nice.
vegetarian stew,
Nice.
and it was
Tasty.
quite tasty.
This is the second time we've made it.
Yeah, we had it yesterday. For
That sounds like a salad with too much dressing on it.
No.
A vegetarian stew.
No,
There's no
it
Come
was-
on, that's a
in it.
badub-cha.
No, that's
There's
not
no
worth
lettuce
it.
in it.
Here, I'll give you something. It's like, boop.
It's appropriate
Why is it so loud?
because I made it loud.
That's stupid.
Oh, so
What?
probably should have thought of this beforehand, but the last recording with the music, when that was playing and we were talking, it was like phasing in and out a lot. I don't know if you noticed that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's dealing with the
Effect.
Yes, it is.
So
well,
it's
probably
it's after we're done recording that is
probably.
applied.
Probably.
Okay. All right. So I don't need to worry about it right now.
How was the sound? Because I turned off one of the filters I used last time.
It was better.
Okay.
The only issue was what I just said.
Okay. Well, you were talking about the sound of our voices, the muffling.
Yeah. Well, it was like it was trying to duck
Yeah.
the music underneath.
No, I
us.
get that part.
Yeah.
I'm talking about compared
Overall.
the overall us talking.
Yeah, it was much better.
Okay.
I still don't like it, but that's okay.
There's some EQ stuff still applied, but I didn't do the multi-band compressor on top of that.
Yeah, it was definitely better. There was an issue with my needing to cut stuff out. It made our breaths really loud. all three of us, like every you hear every little breath sounded like that.
Mm.
So that was the other thing.
Was that some? Wait, that was you did something and it sounded like that, or
I don't know, because I ran. What I've always done is I run the noise cancellation now, and I run my own compressor on it, just a general compressor, just so it like makes everything nice, and then I'll go through and delete stuff out.
okay,
So maybe I just won't run the compressor of my own.
maybe because it's already being compressed in some form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not the
Your voice is really low right now.
Mine?
Yeah.
It's because I'm sensuous.
Oh, gosh.
Since you was gone. Actually, his voice sounds fine to me.
Okay. It was just the way he was like saying that last couple words of that.
Well, I'll change into this mode here in a second,
Sure.
but for now, I'm gonna stick like this.
I could probably get you a longer mic stand that adjusts upwards.
Thank you, sir. So $1, Bob. 1,300, Bob. True.
You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. So, got your
I'm poised.
button finger poised. All right. So, start the show in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you with thanks with patrons like you. Go check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/boardsandswords. Live from Swordplay Studios, it's time for Boards and Swords.
Yeah.
I'm Philip, and I'm totally here too.
Wow, it's. Wait, I thought you said he wasn't here.
That's right. It's time for Boards and Swords. This is the podcast where we talk about board games and lost my I had a thought and it just fell off. Like
We entertain people.
yeah, we have
Or
fun.
we try to.
We have fun talking about games and people
Yeah.
stuff. There's somewhere in there.
Sometimes people make their way in there.
Sometimes, again, I keep like a thought is in my head and then it just falls off. It's
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
cliff.
Anyway, who are you?
Hi, I'm Chris Renshaw. I'm one of your hosts.
I am Cindy Pastorius.
And I am Collin Pastorius, the Reminderer.
The reminderer? What's the reminderer?
I do some remindering.
Oh. If you are into... Never mind. I was going to say something, but no.
Oh, my
Nope,
word.
nope. So, anyways, like I said, yeah, this is a podcast where we have fun talking about board games. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, I've got some news bits. It's been a while.
I just sang that song yesterday. same situation.
Anyways, I got some news bits for you guys and ladies, for
All right.
y'all.
Do it.
You can call me a guy, whatever.
But out there,
True.
you don't know. Nominations for the Spiel des Jahres.
Ooh, yeah. Hot stuff.
The German Game of the Year have been announced. The three games are Just One from Repros Productions, Llama from Amigo, and Werewords from Bezier Games. Also announced were the Kennerspiel des Jahres, the more enthusiast Game of the Year award. We had Carpe Diem from Aaliyah, Detective from Portal Games, and Wingspan from Stonemaier.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get too excited. Because if you want a game that's actually available in the U.S. or has a rulebook that isn't garbage or isn't based on Werewolf, then there's just one option.
That was good.
Wait, which one has a garbage rulebook?
Well, Portal Games has a record of
Oh.
being like that.
I've never played Detective, so I don't know, but it's just the
We didn't read
we
the
we
rulebook.
were taught it at
The-
a convention.
stereotype is that Portal Games has terrible rulebooks.
Right.
Speaking of things totally not related to Werewolf, Bezier Games has announced Silver, a new line of card games that will release starting at Gen Con. Now, they don't say this in the press release, but based on what I've heard their description, and based on people that have gotten to try it out, it's based on another game called Cabo.
Yeah, they recently came out with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like in the initial press release, it doesn't mention Cabo,
Oh,
but
sure,
this is
yeah.
basically like a reskinning. What do you know?
Let him do his
I'm
thing.
I couldn't remember what you said, and I was trying to hurry up.
Anyways, based on another game called Cabo, in this game you trade cards with other players to try and get the hand with the lowest number before your opponents do. Future games in the line will have more unique kind of special abilities on your cards so that you can mix and match and have custom games like every time. Finally, they ran out of One Night Ultimate ideas. This seems like a game I'd play once, and I'm like, that was a game.
I played that one night.
Yeah.
Oh.
That should have been the joke. Is this a
Yeah,
game I'd play only one night?
Can I get my own thing?
You are mastering the buttons right now.
That's me?
Yeah.
Minor news bit, the second Keyforge set, Age of Ascension, is now available in stores.
Nice.
Even more impressive fact, I haven't bought any decks yet.
Oh. Sorry, I repeated that sound. I don't know why I did that.
Mainly because we've been cleaning through stuff.
Mhm.
Found like a whole box of Magic cards from Chloe.
Oh, wow.
And
That
so
you're gonna trade in.
I traded those in, and so I'm waiting to hear how much that's worth before I spend any money.
Nice.
That's awesome.
She was like, but they were my cards. I'm like, yes, but I bought them.
That is a good point.
I'm like, do you play Magic anymore? No. Okay, then.
They have been repossessed.
And finally, onto something that Colin will appreciate, and that is IDW Games will soon be taking pre-orders for Metal Gear Solid, the board game. With over a dozen missions and 10 bonus VR missions, I'm putting air quotes in there. The game will retell the story of Metal Gear Solid and is a co-op game complete with all kinds of yummy minis.
Oh, it's co-op.
I
And-
don't know about the solid part, but Colin's got some liquid drooling from his mouth right now.
Oh my gosh. Stop. That's gross.
That's all I have this time.
Sorry, I had to simulate the liquid for the listeners.
So gross. No.
Ah.
Nasty. Oh my word. Please cut this.
Nope, it's getting like auto-tuned or something now. It's good like
Oh, yeah.
boing.
Schmo Yoho's coming back.
Gosh.
So,
yeah, had a bit of a delay in getting, of course, the podcast people won't care.
mhm.
But yeah, bunch of stuff. Things are crazy, as you can tell by the fact the studio's moved yet again.
Yeah. We're always in flux.
Oh,
Not playing flux, though.
Yeah, because of which we got a lot of apples in the air in the Renshaw household,
Mm.
which is why there's not a whole lot of games getting played. But I do have a couple. Like I have a couple of first impressions of things I mentioned in there.
Nice.
Like most instantly. By the way, Kyle's in the chat room saying, "Hey,
Hey,
how's
Kyle.
it going?"
Hey.
I tried Brass Lancashire.
Oh, yeah.
I played a brass game.
And
That's
how'd it go?
And I didn't hate it. It was not that bad.
surprising.
Yeah, I like I said, it's definitely like this is a first impression, so I need to play it some more.
Mm-hmm.
But when I opened it up, and the reason I got the game because it was like, this is a beautiful game. I might be like,
Suede.
persuade
Mm-hmm.
or swayed by the production value, and yeah, like the cards are really nice. The one they gave us had it's the deluxe version, so it's got the poker chips,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think are about to go on Kickstarter. By the time this episode is out, I think they will be on Kickstarter.
The iron clays themselves?
Yes.
Mm.
So they're selling the iron clays with like, I want to say playing cards.
Oh, okay.
Christian Kang did a video where there was like,
Oh,
them
that's what
manipula-
that was about.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw.
well, if
I
you
saw
went
him
to their
talking
if you went to
about
their website, it had a link. It was like coming June 4th or whatever.
That's cool.
that. No, I didn't care enough to go to their website.
Yeah. So I would suggest the iron clays just because they're really really nice to use for money instead of like coins or chits or something.
Sure.
The clays
I
are
get
nice.
that.
Of course, I also mentioned this in our unboxing video. If you don't want to spend like, it's probably going to be like $30-$40 on the iron clays, you can go $10 at Walmart and get like regular poker chips.
It can be really nice, or you can go to Goodwill and pay the same price.
Oh yeah, Goodwill's prices are not cheap.
Sometimes, they'll.
Oh,
find,
I didn't know which way you were going with that. Like, people leave stuff at Goodwill, or Goodwill's too expensive.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
That joke-
sometimes the prices are not really where they should be for thrifting.
That
Yeah.
joke had about 3 different endings, so I didn't know which way you were going.
It's a choose your own adventure joke.
Only none of them are funny.
Oh, just sad.
But
and
it's okay
depressing.
because none of mine are either. There's an art to bad jokes.
Zing.
Anyways.
So yeah,
But yeah,
so
brass. That definitely though, that was a game like we read through the instructions. I had watched a video on it, but when we sat down and played it, for those that haven't played it, this one it's got a map of London, England. I'm not familiar enough with the area to know.
the Lancashire area.
Yeah, Lancashire area. I don't know where that is, and I don't have a map on me
Mhm.
to know where that is in relation to like London and such. But you are trying to move different goods from different plants all around the board, and like you're trying to move coal to areas and then use that coal to make, cloth, which you then try and connect to like seas to ports to ship, and then like halfway through the game, all the pathways get destroyed and replaced with rails because you switch from canals to using rails. It's interesting. It's just when we sat down to play, it was one of those like, okay, so what do I do first? Like after you get like a couple of turns in, you start to get like an ability to generate to think, to start to build a strategy just at front. It was just, there's so many options, and also kind of hard to work with because you can take loans, but that like hurts your money generation, and there's no way to repay the loans. You just take like a permanent deduction in your money that you have to build back. So like there's a money track, and instead of paying back loans, you just get like, if I take a loan, I just go bump down the track one level. So then I just have to earn that level back up.
Gotcha.
So I turned your headphones up for a reason. You said you couldn't hear yourself.
So, so we'll wait to stay tuned to see.
Yeah,
what
so
in
more
the
to come,
future.
but I was
Yeah.
just saying, like, hey, I played a brass game.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Surprising.
I
Yeah.
put an asterisk next to that because of the production,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
like the swaying of the component quality.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I told you guys, I really want to try Birmingham because I've heard it's a little bit less brutal.
Mm.
And that combined with the new production value, I'm like, okay, that might be like the sweet spot
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
for me. By the way, Ember Selic is in the chat room again.
Awesome. Hello.
I was using that delay for you guys to start talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we played some games. We got an expansion for Orléans.
Oh, yeah.
Some French in there.
We got the Trade and Intrigue expansion from TMG.
So do you like stab the people in the back and take their stuff?
That is
Kind
an
of.
aspect.
Yeah. So this particular expansion adds a couple like
It's modules.
yeah, as I was about to say, it's modules. Thanks for taking the word out of my mouth. So in addition to adding in a new, so the way Orleans works is there's a board that you can like send your people to, and you get special bonuses for doing it. And because you're like permanently getting them out of your bag by sending them to this board. Well, in this version, the Trade and Intrigue version, the board is like you send a person there, and then you do something against the other players. And
You're
so,
talking about the Intrigue board. There's two different boards.
oh, yes, the Intrigue board. Thank you. So,
Or it's
yeah,
like
the Intrigue.
devilish axe or something like that is the name of the board.
Yeah, and so it allows you to do mean things to your opponents, and you get a benefit from it. And like in the base game of Orleans, is if you're the last person to place a person on there, you get an additional bonus, a completion bonus they call it. So that we've only played with once because we're not terribly mean.
We waited until the last minute to play with this.
we're not mean players. Like we don't like to be mean to each other.
The game
necessarily.
itself is kind of harsh on you because there's
It
these
is.
events that pop up to say, at the end of this, you're going to have to pay some money or you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, or you're going to lose people or something. But this version actually added in nicer events. Did you notice that?
Some events were actually
Some are
helped
good
you out.
for you. So that was nice. So it's like they kind of balance it out. Like that board, the Intrigue board, is mean, but then they've added in event tiles that are nice.
Yeah.
Not all of them are nice,
Yeah.
but
So what's kind of nice is the original game, you have a set. This is like another module is these new events. The old one had a stack of events. You use those. It's just a matter of what order they pop out in. This you pick some from A, B, C, and D, like 4 from each.
yeah.
And you didn't have to do that. You yawned right in the mic. So you pick some from A.
High quality production we
Yeah.
got going here.
You pick some events from all A, B, C, and D, and you stack them all together. And so you're not going to know what in particular is coming in the game.
That's true, yeah. And then, so one of the modules for the trade side of the game, they added in... What?
I thought we were going to talk about the other board first.
They added in another board, and this one is really cool because when you send your people there, most of the time you're going to get specific goods, or sometimes you'll just get a citizen, or it's something beneficial for you. You're not doing anything mean to your opponents, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the original, you just get money for the most part wherever
Right.
you send a person.
But this one gets you lots of good stuff.
Like you can get something to help you activate actions. You can get new buildings to power new actions for you.
You could ship, which is pretty cool. The coins, of course, is normal. But yeah, so that's really nice. And then it also, for the trade portion of it, it includes these like contract
Don't show
cards.
me, show them.
I'm showing everyone.
And so like on the board, there's all the different cities you can visit in the game. And this adds in an aspect where when you're in a particular city, if one of these contract cards is out, you can give up the requisite number of goods and then score a points based on what you've just traded in, and it tells you on the card. And I mean, you don't get the points until the end of the game, but you collect the card and then set it in front of you for end game scoring. And it's really cool because these you have to do this as the last thing you do, because once you take one of these contracts, your turn is over.
You're done for the round.
Yeah, so you have to kind of think about it, but don't forget, because that would suck. Guess somebody else could swoop in and take it from you. And then since they refill, of course, after each turn, but that one's taken.
So, I really like this expansion. Apart from that, Intrigue.
Is this brand new?
No, it's actually
it
a couple years old.
ago.
Gotcha.
So, it's been out there a while, but
I would say 2 years. But that's a while in the board
Is this
game
the
world.
only expansion for
No,
it,
they have.
or-
there's
they have
Invasion,
Invasion.
Okay.
and there's also the 5th player.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, everything apart from that Intrigue board is great, and
Yeah.
the way we are currently housing it because of that is everything from this expansion is in the base box.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this as well. Like I really like the card aspect. It's a new way to get points, and it's neat. And they always make it so that whatever good, because the goods are worth points at the end of the game too, and so they've made it so that you're making out better getting the card than you would by just keeping all the goods. So that's great. And yeah, the Intrigue board, because we're not mean players, it's not our cup of tea, but I could see people really enjoying that.
I think it has its place.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, if we were playing with Philip, that's what he would obviously want to be playing with, because he'd want to be stabbing his opponents in the back, basically. Literally, because there is a traitor action. But, yeah, it's not for us necessarily, but the whole rest of the expansion absolutely is great. I love it.
It's one of those expansions we taught it to 2 new players, the game itself, and they
Played
probably
the
wouldn't
tree.
even notice that it wasn't just the base
it's
game.
so smooth flowing. Because the board doesn't change much other than you're just getting different goods, or not necessarily goods, but you're getting different benefits. And then the cards, it's not difficult to grasp if you're a gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I really like
thumbs
it.
up for this expansion.
Yes, definitely, highly recommend. If you love Orleans, you need this expansion, I think.
So, Orleans, I would say, I think it's kind of in that veil of, it's like a modern classic
I
at
would
this
say that.
point.
Yeah.
Like it's
been around for a
it's
while.
been around, and it stays getting played.
Mhm.
It's kind of hung around. So everyone's always talking about it, and so I always feel like I should play it. But you're just reminding me more and more why.
Oh, Chris.
Oh God, let me show me. Give me the rule
You
book.
would hate this game.
What?
I would hate this game. Like literally, my eyes are rolling in their back in their sockets just looking at the board. That is so bad. Like
It's a
Well, that's
Euro.
not the actual board. That's
but
the beneficial
still.
deeds board.
I still like I'm just like, now that I've been exposed to brass, the bar is set so high. It's like,
whatever.
why
Well-
do you play games like that? They look so
Well,
bad.
You
I don't think it
always
looks
always give
bad.
Clemens Franz a bad time, and he did the art for this.
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's bad.
surprised.
No,
But
I
it
don't know.
just yeah, it looks like it was made back in the 1500s.
Well, that's the theme they're going
It's
for.
charm.
Okay, and the theme to brass is the 1800s, but it still looks gorgeous.
Whatever.
The original didn't.
The original doesn't. And notice I didn't play the original. And like, I wanted to learn the game, and so I thought about buying the app to learn how to play. And then I saw it was the original art, and I was like, not even knowing that's not going to be the art I'm playing on. Like, no, no.
I don't know.
I don't
Like I find the art appealing.
I like it too, so sorry.
I know art is subjective. It's just
It's like, if you ask me, the brass Lancashire art is dark. It
I,
is
I
so
don't
dark.
Like that.
I see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like the color choice, and even like in the color choice and the palette, it chose this dark. But then again, it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to be during the Industrial Revolution.
Sure.
So thinking like coal and smoke and cloudy.
But when you love to see a nice, colorful person like smiling with that coal,
Why? But that my point isn't that it needed to be like a darker palette. I'm just saying overall, like there was attention to detail put into the graphic design, and then there's not.
I think there is, but that's okay.
Yeah, like you said, subjective.
Yeah.
I think if you saw the whole game set up, you might think a little differently.
He wouldn't.
No. Come on now.
Because
You just make me sad
Why?
because you always bash our games, and it makes
You bash
me sad.
my games talking about like minis looking atrocious. I don't care. I get it.
well, that's the only thing we really bash is minis in general.
Okay.
I'll do it as often as you do it to me, though. So there.
I'm not saying it's a
This
bad.
new location for the studio is really
Did-
bringing out stuff. I think.
Didn't I start off the conversation saying, "Hey, this is a modern classic that people enjoy and gets brought to the table"?
But I hate
It's
it.
hideous.
Okay. I'm just
Oh,
saying why I don't. I would never play this
know,
game.
I know.
It's like what happened with
But
the.
that's
the
why I caveated saying if you love Orleans,
yes.
then you should get this expansion.
Yes. I just feel like our viewers want to hear me hate on a game.
Hey,
I'm sold. I'm easy.
Philip says he likes it.
I am not trying to dissuade anyone from playing this game.
Okay.
I'm only saying that I can't stand it. It was like when we played The Arrival, another Martin Wallace
Oh.
game, where I was like, this is not a game.
Oh, he did Brass. Sorry.
Yeah. This is not a game for me, so I'm going to caveat this like this is not a game that I would be normally interested in, so my opinion doesn't really matter because I'm not the target audience.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Remember that whole art is subjective thing? I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a terrible game. I'm just saying the art is not for me. I think the art is bad.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. Then again, let's take this and go on the opposite side. Sometimes there's too much attention paid to details.
Oh yeah.
Like on some of the Rising Sun minis.
Well, there's that. Well, no, that would be not enough attention to detail paid to some circumstances.
Like there's a couple of those. Like as soon as I saw
Oh, I
them
was
painted,
talking-
I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
I was talking
nightmares.
about the dude, the one where they looked on Wikipedia to find the thing.
Oh,
was
that
like
one.
not
That
enough
one.
attention to detail.
There's
No, I'm talking about, sometimes I hear people throw around the word overproduced. And for a while, I never quite understood what that meant. Like, how do you overproduce a game? I know what they mean now.
that. Hop. That is my example of an overproduced game.
Yeah, like, I've known for a little while, but I'm just saying, like, so we got a copy of Gen 7 in.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so far, so we've played 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
and the gameplay's fine. I this is not a full review because I want to get through more of it. We're still based on our second play. It's basically the base game plus like a rules tweak.
Okay.
There's not enough to like show the campaign evolving piece. Like I'm just going off of it. This is a first impression of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the game retails for like $100.
It was up there.
Not that
gosh.
my initial 2 plays are not worth that money. And what I
Wow.
mean, this is what I mean by overproduce is just like everything has this like deluxe sheen on it. Like the dice look like extra crisp, but like it's got all these like boards that, or modules that get put out everywhere. And there's all, it's essentially just a box of cards. Like the whole game is a box of cards and boards to put those cards on. Granted, I don't know what's in the envelopes. Like we opened up one envelope and it came out with another board for a new deck of cards, basically. But I'm like, we could have done this in a different, like I'm in my head thinking like there are ways to like, this could have not been, $100.
Yeah, so steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because $100 is a lot for a board game for sure.
Right. And so based on the first 2 plays, I'm not seeing anything that justifies that $100.
Okay.
Like if this were a $60 game, I'd be like, that's a great deal. Like so far, the gameplay's pretty cool. Like it's a co-op game. So it's a crossword game like Dead of Winter, So think like Dead of Winter in that sort of cooperative state where you have things come up that as a group you need to deal with, but at the same time you have your own personal goals. So take out the hidden traitor bit for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I don't like, as far as we know, there's no hidden traitor. There's just, so there's not a hidden traitor, but you have personal goals that may be like, I don't necessarily want to do X right now. I kind of want to do Y, even though we kind of need X. Like
Okay.
X is the short, like I need to, sure, we may need someone to donate some stuff here, but for the long term, you know, me getting some points, which will allow me to, and there's not like a winner because it's a co-op. There's just like a ranking. There's a point merit system where the more points you get, you can unlock more abilities for your character.
Okay. So that could be beneficial to the whole team.
Right. So that's where it's like, and you don't want to be left behind where like some people are rocketing up the track and they have all these really cool abilities and you're stuck with just kind of base stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dice rolling because that's kind of the mechanic is you get these dice and you place the dice. It's a little bit like Euphoria in that sense where you kind of you roll your dice and based on what die you roll might depend on where you put your die.
Yeah.
Like which action you put in.
Okay.
So there's that, and the storyline is that you're on a generation ship that's been sent out into space, and you're Gen 7, which means you neither remember where you came or you weren't alive when you started, and you will not make it to the finish. You're like the middle crew. That's basically your job is to keep the ship operating as it's going forward. So, like I said, it's an interesting campaign game in that like it's got like. It does everything really well to the point where you can package everything back up and reset the game.
Okay, so
Like-
you could say, like, let's play game 2.
Maybe
Because I was wondering, is it only campaign?
you wouldn't want to play it not as a campaign
Okay.
because there's a plot book that drives each game. And that's like maybe at the end there's enough base mechanics that there might be something at the end, like maybe after game 7 where it's like, okay, now you can just keep playing, but just do this, this, and this. It's possible,
But you're not that far yet.
but I'm not that far to know. So like I said, it's a good game so far. I don't know if I'll be able to fully give it a yay or nay until I get all the way through the end. Because like I said, there's not been enough reveals yet. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I've opened one envelope. That's pretty much like there's a whole bunch of envelopes. I've opened one. So
Cool. We'll see.
yeah.
So we got Imhotep.
Yes. Talk about another game
Yeah,
that's been out for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave us this at PAX Unplugged. This is by Cosmos.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, look at all those shades of brown. I must have this.
Yeah, but
Oh
see,
my
like
gosh.
that box art is intriguing to me because, like,
It's
even though
Egyptian.
I know I'm saying
Yeah.
the way that the color palette and everything's mixed in there, like even though there's a lot of like your Euro beige, that there's still some vivid
Uh-huh.
artwork to it. That's
Yeah.
my kind of my point. Like that, I've actually I've wanted to try Imhotep before. I just never got around to it.
It's a
look,
really
look at these
simple
cubes.
game.
These cubes are huge.
They
That
are
is definitely.
huge.
I thought they were more like your standard cubes.
Yeah.
Humongous.
It
I
says
was
on
surprised,
the
too.
back of the box, actual size.
Yeah,
And this
so
is by your favorite person, Phil Walker Harding. I saw.
Yeah,
favorite
like
person.
well,
You play a lot of his games. I
there
think.
are several of his games that we play now. Like we just got Sushi Roll as well.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
so
they also
We also got a
When
play
did you
mat
get Sushi Roll?
a few weeks
just a
ago.
little bit ago. We bought it on our own. We haven't really talked about it.
It came in the beginning of May.
Because I do want to try that at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in addition to the game, they gave us the playmat as well to try out.
And check
with-
this out. It fits in the box.
It fits in the box.
That's like a bonus right there. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
not
This-
enough people do
So
that.
we've not played the game without the playmat because we'd never played it until we got this copy with the playmat. But I have to say, I don't know that I would ever want to play this without the playmat because it has a place for everything and it is so nice. And the ships just slide on down. It's so great. The people who have played Imhotep will know what I mean by slide right on down.
So, yeah, in this game, you are trying to be the most influential builder in Egypt. You're building pyramids, obelisks, you're the temple, Burial chamber.
chambers.
and you're doing set collection and getting
You're
like
going to the
different sets of
market
cards.
and stuff too.
But on your turn, you can do one of 4 actions. You can get more of your cubes, like put on your sled. I forget what they're actually called, but
It's a quarry.
yeah, you're
Stone.
getting stone. Yeah, your stones, and you're putting them on your sled, so they're being moved to the sites. Technically, you can put one on a boat. You can move a boat to a location, and what was the 4th thing?
That's it.
That was the thing.
There's only 3.
Oh, you can use something on
a card.
a card.
Well, the cards are. Yeah, you can
The
use
cards
a card.
usually involve
Yes,
one of those
a
actions.
card is an action. That's true.
So with that, there is a lot of kind of backstabby moves you can make. They're not like stuff that's going to make you mad at another person.
Not
I know because
necessarily.
I did a lot to Cindy and she did not get mad at me.
True.
So like you load up a boat and that boat is not designated for a specific site. So you can say, you've got everything on that boat. I'm going to send it over to this place where you won't get any points.
Yeah.
And also the order that the cubes are on the boats, they'll offload in that order.
Mm-hmm. So
And
you don't
so-
have to load them on the boat in that order. You can put them on in any order you
Yeah,
want.
you can choose whatever spot you want.
Mm-hmm.
But with so there's that move, and you can say like, I'm going to like use this card action here. I'm gonna take that spot on that. But
Yeah.
so you're trying to get the most points in the game, and most points, is the winner. But it's a really fast playing game. When I was
Yes.
talking about, we wanted to squeeze one more in, so because the location sites, they have an A and a B side.
And
and
we'd
we
only
wanted-
played the A side.
Yeah,
so
we
far.
played the A sides a couple times, and we wanted to try the B sides. And when we got this at PAX Unplugged, the guy had the expansion as well, and he said, "You don't need the expansion because there's so. You don't need it yet anyway because there's so much replay value in this." And I agree because you can flip flop between the A and the B sides as a whole or mix them,
Yeah.
and so you always have a different array of sites you can go to.
And it's cool because some of the sites, like the market, you're always just getting cards, and some of the cards are, in-game scoring, set collection, or it's abilities you can use during the game. And then one of the sites you can go to is immediate scoring. Another one is at the end of the round, and then 2 other ones are into the game. And so it gives you like a nice variety in what you can do. And the A side versus B side is definitely different enough that it's intriguing, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same but different.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hard questions time.
Okay.
I know I'm a fickle beast. Would I enjoy this game?
Well,
You may.
you thought Kingdom
It's-
Builder was okay.
Yeah.
This is
It's
another gateway game.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's definitely a gateway game, for sure.
That's why it seemed. Is it in the kind of light engine builder sort of?
Not quite
it's not
engine
an
builder.
Okay.
It's
Mm-mm.
just
I didn't know the flow of picking cards up, kind of putting them down, or picking up goods. Okay.
Yeah. So when you take stone from the quarry, you take
Mhm.
3 at a time, and you can only house 5 in your what's it
Okay.
called?
your sled.
Your sled. You can only house 5 in your sled. And so you can take them off, and then once you're empty, or not even once you're empty, but you can regenerate your stone.
And it just when you were describing it, it
But-
gave me a very like century sort of.
I get
Feel.
that.
I would say area control is an aspect of this
Yes,
game.
because
Okay.
some of the definitely like the way the burial chamber is, there definitely area control in the scoring aspect.
Like
'cause
where
it's
you
like,
have your cubes show up in there, you're trying to group them together on the A side or have the most
have
in a
the
row
most
on
in
the
a
B
row.
side.
Yeah. And then the obelisk on that's kind of like it's not set collection. That's almost kind of like area control too, because you're trying to get tall towers and stuff. And so that's pretty cool.
On the B side, you're
Yeah, you're
that's
just
more
towers of
area
3.
control on the B side, but it's just getting points.
Yeah.
It's point generation.
It's a very simple game, but it's fun. I really like it, and you definitely may enjoy it. Like obviously, I
It's
wouldn't
so
I wouldn't
quick, it's
necessarily call it.
harmless.
Yeah,
Cool.
I wouldn't call it a Euro.
Hey,
game.
I'm totally down
necessarily.
for quick games. Oh, by the way, speaking of engine builders, did you see that Simon had pictures of a giant gizmos?
No.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, where
I
this
did.
is like the marbles are like I'm trying to think about what size this would be. Think like shot put balls.
Okay.
Like the marbles are that.
Like
are
a
that-
croquet ball.
Yeah, like a croquet ball.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they were in this like huge dispenser.
Nice.
And I don't know if the cards were big as well, but yeah, because the CMON Expo was this past
Right,
weekend.
right.
Mm.
So yeah, they had like somebody sitting there, and it just like it looked so cool at that point.
Nice.
I thought of you when I saw it.
Anyway, Imhotep, I highly recommend it. If you are somebody who has never tried it because you're either new to the hobby or you just have never tried it, definitely give it a shot because it's a great game. And if you do love it and you don't have that playmat, oh my gosh, you should totally buy that playmat because it is fantastic.
It is really nice.
Yes. What do you think?
I agree. It's really great game, and although it's easy to pick up and it's easy to
It's easy
play,
to
but
teach,
there's
too.
also a lot of strategy in that. It's like I love those games that are like those 20-minute games, but it feels the amount of thought that you're putting into it is like a 45-minute game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. So yes, Imhotep by Cosmos. Good game.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right. So I saw you said in the notes you had a game day because yesterday was International Tabletop
It
Day.
was, yay.
I think it's the first one in a while I didn't play any games during.
Aw.
Yeah, well, I mean, do we count Pokemon Go? Does that count as tabletop?
Is it? I guess you're sitting at a tabletop when you're doing it.
No, I was in the car and then walking around.
Totally not counting.
Yeah, I was outside, so probably not.
No.
But I was gaming-ish some of the day.
That's like
But yeah, we played a few games. We had 2 people over, so it was a nice
Yeah.
intimate game day, and
Nice.
we had specific slate. Like we played Western Legends and a couple other games. But yeah, we played Not So Fast,
Oh yeah.
Nice.
so it had been a
That's-
little bit for that one.
I love that game.
But yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, we had a good time. I won every game except for Western Legends, so that was exciting.
I did not win that one. I didn't win a single game. Yeah.
It wasn't a Marshall player that won. It wasn't a wanted player. It was a Marshall player
Mm-hmm.
that won.
Didn't the Marshall players win when we played?
No, I thought it was a wanted player that won.
No, because like I went the wanted track.
That's true. He did. I arrested him
I
like the
don't know.
last round.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a lot of people complain that you go wanted and it's overpowered because you
Mm.
get points at the end of every turn. So like the wanted players are always going to win.
I don't
That is
remember
not the
if-
case.
I don't think I won our Western Legends game.
You did not. I think I won that.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is definitely not the case. If you are, annoyed at Western Legends because you think the wanted players always win. It's
But
not
yeah,
the case.
I've heard the argument like for all 3 of them. Like the mining strategy's broken, the martial strategy's
Yeah.
broken,
People
wanted's
just like to
broken.
complain.
That's true.
And that just tells me, yeah, everyone's complaining about something. I guess it's balanced.
Yeah. Even though the game doesn't seem to like me, I do enjoy it for the most part.
Yeah, she was complaining
Hey,
like the whole
we
time.
could have a whole discussion topic on games that you suck at but just enjoy.
Yeah.
For me, a long time that was Android Netrunner.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that does have a barrier,
Well,
like for getting good.
yeah, but for me, it was I kept teaching it to people and losing every time.
Oh, okay.
Like I was losing to new people every time.
You sure you play this a lot?
Yeah.
So you got anything else you've played?
Yeah, we got Cartographers here.
Oh yeah.
So this is actually, you remember what I said about prototypes? I don't like prototypes.
Yeah.
This is the one different.
the one exception.
The one exception.
Yeah.
I mean, it's practically done, right?
It is. I mean, this is as less a prototype as it is a pre-production copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was basically a pre-production copy.
I hope they put some visual on the back because it's just text on the back of the box.
I wouldn't
There's
be
a
surprised.
Compass symbol, but
This looks pretty done to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's even got the UPC on it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, maybe that's true. Like, it could use a picture right here of
like some of the cards
of the
or something.
components and
Yeah.
like in the middle of gameplay. That's true. It could. But anyways, so this is from Thunderworks Games. It is not done by the same person, but it's set in the same universe, quote unquote, as Role Player,
I was
which is
wondering that.
which is why what says a Role Player tale on the box.
Right, that's why I was wondering that.
I had it. It was kind of weird because I was wondering like why did they set it in a like make it the big role player tale, because thematic, like I understand like yes, this could take place in the same world as role player and that they're both fantasy-ish style games.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, there's not a whole other than some of the graphic design is the same, which I do kind of like.
Okay.
So that was like my one. This isn't a complaint, more as a kind of like confusion kind of bit. Like, is it more just to sell this game? Just to is putting that. That's more of a business-y question. Does putting a role player tale, does that really make? I mean, obviously it did to me.
It's kind of like in the same lines as the Oprah productions. Like, did
Oh,
it really
no.
need to be done that way?
I don't. It's not say does it need to be. I'm just wondering how effective it is.
Mm-hmm.
That because obviously I started, but then again, I like Thunderworks games, so I probably would have checked this out anyways.
Mm.
I don't know. That's a hard. I can't really say because it was announced as a role player tale, so it's hard for me to imagine this game if it weren't. But regardless, it does share a lot of like the card art and the card design looks a lot like role player.
Mm.
You might even think they were role player cards if you were looking, if you didn't know what the game was. But anyways, the game's Cartographers, which is about drawing a map. So it's a roll and write ish, in that there's no dice, but it's like a flip and fill or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Where you flip over a card and it will have basically a what's it called? Pentamino?
Oh, polyomino.
Polyomino, that's it. It'll have a polyomino shape on them, and you have to draw that shape on your map. And fill it in with, you sometimes get options of what terrain type. And the cool thing about this is that there are a number of different scoring conditions, and you have like an A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 4 phases of the game, and certain scoring conditions will only trigger in certain rounds. And so it's like, yeah, I need to worry about this now, but if I choose this, it may help me a couple turns down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That sounds like Isle of Skye.
Yeah, I was saying, after Cindy didn't actually play this. I played a solo game of this.
Ah, okay.
Which I thought was pretty good. Like, I mean, it's really just try to get the highest score you can in the solo.
Right.
But
well, it's like that in so the only downside that you would have not experienced as a solo player is, unlike a lot of roll and writes, this one gets fun in that you get to mark on other people's sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that, so like everybody, you flip over a car, like there's a lot of comparisons to Railroad Ink in this, where you flip over a car and then everybody's drawing in the same thing on their board. However, if you flip a monster over, the monster will have a direction on it. Everyone slides their board that direction, and you have to draw that on somebody else's board.
Oh my
And so you can draw it in specific spaces. And the way the monsters are is everything's a grid in this. If for every orthogonal up, down, left, and right space next to a monster that's not filled in, you get a minus point at the end of each round for each monster thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, the good news is you will only ever draw 4 monsters, and you may not even draw that many.
Yeah.
Because each round, one gets shuffled in, and if you draw it, that one comes out, and the next round, a new one comes in. But if you don't draw it, it stays in there, so now you have 2 monsters in the deck. So the maximum you will draw is 4, but it still can be a pain when you're working on something up in the corner and then somebody draws it like way out in the middle of nowhere where you don't have anything, and now you have to kind of, because like there was one time I think I got like a minus 12.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
from because
monster.
especially if that monster is like one of the last, maybe not the last, but like one of the last cards to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like one card to try and put as many around there, and you're just
Wow.
So that's one thing that this game offers that not a lot of roll and write in that category do, is there is that player interaction.
Yeah. One of the Penny Papers games, the one that we
Oh,
played,
yeah.
does that as well.
Right.
But it's not going to be like multiple squares, just like one square you're drawing in.
Yeah, and for this isn't even, it's not like a huge mass. Like some of the ones I think I've seen are like 3 to 4 square shapes.
Yeah, it's like between 2 and 4.
Yeah. And I will caveat is I've not played a ton of roll and write games. I've only played maybe on 5 off the top of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I may not be an expert in the category. But so far, I really like this game. And everyone I've taught this game to really likes this game.
That's good.
I've been describing it this way because so I still have Railroad Inc.
Yeah.
Railroad Inc. is more accessible, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
if I'm playing with non-gamers or people that don't game on a regular basis, I will pull out Railroad Inc. Like, if I'm playing with my family, but if I'm playing with gamers, like people that board game on a regular basis, hands down, I would pick this one better.
See, I almost feel the opposite. Because
Really?
Railroad Inc. like is really a brain burner for me. Like knowing what to do with those dice, that was giving me a headache practically. But this like is like one card. I've got one option. Like where can I put that?
But from a rules perspective, Railroad Inc. is a lot lighter than this. This is I have to keep track of, and I found that happen a lot. I'm like, wait, what round? Like,
Because you have the different scoring.
yeah, the different scoring conditions, and you have the different scoring conditions, and it's like, okay, there's all these different terrain types that you're trying to like. Okay, so remind me again. I don't want forests around the edges, and I don't want, and I want mountains on. Yeah. So there was a couple times I would have to like keep reminding myself what each of the scoring conditions were, and that was a common thing. It didn't really slow the game down. It was about the same thing where you flip over and you're like trying to figure out where to place it. But Railroad Inc. it's just a draw what's on that dice. Like, sure, it's brain burning in how you do that, but the base mechanics themselves are not difficult. I roll dice and I draw what's on those dice.
Sure.
That's basic. The scoring is. It's
at the end of the
It's
game.
at the end of the game, and you don't, after you score it once, then you're, okay, I know for next time.
Yeah, that was what got me in Railroad Inc. Is like, oh, that's what I'm trying to do.
It happened, and pretty much that's why I usually always play 2 games whenever I'm teaching it, because it's just go with it and get the feel, and then at the end of the game, when you see what you've done and you see how it scores, okay, now I know for the second game.
Yeah, but the thing where I was messing up in this, I had to erase a couple times when I played because I was something with oh crap, I actually I met the threshold for the scoring after that last card, so I shouldn't have been able to write that. And as keeping track of that threshold, like you have to go through that sequence of, okay, when does certain things happen?
Right. And I've also found with Cartographers, I would do like a lot of outside cheats, not cheats, but markings to help me keep track. Like there's the ones that would be like for every row that a forest is in, and for every column that a forest is in, I would just make hash marks at the bottom of each column, and anytime I drew it, so at the end of the round, I would just add up the hash marks, or like whenever you get a mountain that's enclosed on all sides, you get like a coin where you color in the coin so that you've counted that one. Or there was sometimes like when I would get, if it needed like 6 of a type, at least I would like extra bolden the lines to like remind myself, all right, I've achieved this thing. I could work on something else. So yeah, there was a lot of little extra doodling.
I was curious. I didn't get to try the little mini expansion that was in there that allowed you to spend those coins.
Yes. So I have not tried it either, but that seemed really entertaining. I was looking at it because basically it's you get all these coins which are worth points, which is cool because you want to earn coins because they're points that just happen every round. But the other game allows you to spend them, which you can spend them on basically like one of 3 abilities.
Yeah.
Which could be like, oh, this thing you get to draw this round. I get to draw this thing twice.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
But overall, solid game. It's on pre-order for now. I believe it's shipping at Gen Con time frame.
Oh, that's cool.
Basically.
Well, it's coming up relatively soon.
Yeah. So I've had this for a little bit, we've played through it. But what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. It's just a couple of those things to keep track of that I don't normally encounter in a roll and write. So there's that, but yeah, having played Isle of Skye and Kingdom Builder, like I would like say this is like a mashup flip and fill version of those because the way the things score, it reminds me of the way the Kingdom Builder things score. But it's totally different gameplay, but just seeing that comparison. But I liked it. fantasy theme doesn't do anything for me, but it's not really in there apart from.
Yeah, I know, and that's where I'm not surprised that Cindy hasn't played it. But at the same time,
Oh, we just didn't have time to play it.
yeah. But I'm like normally, this is where like normally you would not be interested because of fantasy. But the fantasy theme is not. The monsters are like the only fantasy bit, which is like 4
Yeah.
cards you encounter. Like the actual the rest of the cards you're flipping over are just landscapes
Yeah.
Okay.
of different types.
Sure.
I was gonna pull them out, but they're all whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I might actually try and get a full. The only comment I've heard of, and I understand it. Somebody had a print and play where they printed and laminated on an 8x11. That was really nice. Versus when you're using pencil on the smaller sheets is nice, but if I were to laminate these, it'd be kind of hard to write on because the sheets are so tiny.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're
'cause
you're
the
not
squares are
necessarily
tiny.
writing from left to right either. You're so you have to hover.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't accidentally erase something with
Right.
your hand. Yeah.
So I have heard some people talk about that if they had the game, they would want to like blow up the sheets a little bit.
Mhm.
I could see that.
You've done that before.
I would do if I had to. I would do wet erase. It's like dry erase,
Like,
but you
you're
need to
talking like
actually use moisture.
what's it called? Overhead projector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like the old
doing that so you
Yeah.
don't smear things around.
Oh, that's a good call because you could just put the overhead. You wouldn't even need to copy it. You could just put the overhead on top of.
Oh yeah.
On top of your sheet and just draw.
That's a good idea. Cool.
So yeah, that's Cartographers from Thunderworks. I want to say I should probably look this up.
What its pre-order cost is?
Yeah.
I'll
It
cut
is.
this out.
$24.95.
Oh, that's a great
Okay.
price.
Oh yeah.
Not too bad.
Very reasonable for a game.
Oh yeah. Especially for those at home, it's basically in a codename size box. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I peeled off the label if this was a codenames box. It might be a little small for a codenames box, but it's basically that size.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So is that all the games and stuff we
Yep.
have? Okay. Well, before we get to the game show that Cindy has prepared for us, just want to shout out to everyone that they can go to patreon.com/boards and swords and throw us, all we're asking is for everyone to do $1 per show or $1 per month. I always want to say $1 per show. $1 per month. And that will help us pay hosting bills and help us get some cool swag. I want to get some new Boards and Swords dice, and that sort of thing, and potentially maybe down the line upgrade some equipment. But anyways, you're not getting. In addition, you're getting this as you would normally. This isn't going away for anybody, but you're only going to get more. For instance, we are a measly like $6 away from our first goal. It's not a Kickstarter, so it's not a stretch goal. Our first goal, which is bonus episodes each quarter, month. I can't remember the thing I put it on there, but that's where you're gonna get awesome side bits. Just have you ever thought about what we thought about movies? Well, I go see a lot of movies, so I could talk about them, and then the only patrons will get those. I just recently started reading comic books again. And so I could do a show. See, me and Philip reads comic books too.
Yeah, I don't.
I know.
Yep.
So all sorts of that. Plus, if you ever want to hear that RPG, I got to get to work on it because I think we may do the first couple of episodes for free. The
Call it
cat
Cat
one.
Thulu.
yeah, no. It's
that's a real thing.
That is a real thing. I called it Yarn Finder.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
The cats in space RPG.
Yes.
So we got to get to I think I said it at $50 a month for that.
If we get to, I don't know what level it was. I'll make a song.
Yeah, I think it was 75 to 100. Cindy will
I
make
will
a song,
write a song.
a custom
A
song,
parody.
parody song every month.
Every month. I thought it was every 3 months.
It might have
but-
been every
okay.
quarter. I don't know. Maybe I should have looked this up.
But regardless,
It's out there. I promised. You're done. You're on the
you
hook
can
now.
get some great stuff.
You're on the hook now.
Okay.
I wanted to double check.
Watch me pee.
Oh, 3 months. The monthly is at $75. Colin's going to take one of our sound clips and turn it into a tune.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Watch me pee, watch me pee, watch me pee.
See, look, you didn't even need to.
All right.
And it's
so
$100.
My job's done.
Yeah, exactly. It's $100 for the
The song.
the geeky song parody.
Yeah. Which excites me.
So there you go. All right, Cindy.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Ready?
Cue that music, Colin.
Sorry, we don't have rights to that. Oh,
All
that one.
right, everybody, come on down. It is time for The Price is Right. Board Game Edition.
Nice.
So we got
I'm gonna
Chris
suck at this game.
and Colin. Come on down. We're gonna, bring you down here to contestants row, and there we go. That's about it for now. Okay, so we're gonna have 4 rounds, and each round is gonna be like The Price is Right. Okay, so round 1.
What's the Showcase Showdown? What am I getting for
We're getting there. We're
You'll
getting
get
there.
Oh, okay.
I promise. So round 1, you guys are each going to guess the price of a game, closest without going over.
Mm-hmm.
And these are worth 1 point each. All right? All
All
right.
right.
So your first game is Castles of Burgundy.
Okay, hold on.
What?
Question: Are we going MSRP?
Oh, this is Amazon prices.
Okay,
Everything I did today was on Amazon.
and this is based on Amazon because Amazon will fluctuate
This
sometimes.
was
She looked
today.
today on
Today at like 2 p.m.
yeah, when I told her she had to do a game show.
Yes. So today at 2 p.m. Amazon prices. So Castles of Burgundy.
Okay, Castles
Chris.
of Burgundy.
What do you think that is at?
Castles of Burgundy. I don't even know if it's in. See, that's the problem. Is things like
It's
this.
in print.
It's in print.
Yes.
Okay. Can that be a factor? Can I know if it's in print or not?
I think
For-
all the
for-
games she looked up, I think, are in print.
Okay. All right.
If
All right.
I think there was one that wasn't.
I will
But
go
that's later.
$34.99.
Okay. Oh, I should say these are all rounded to the nearest dollar. So are you saying 35?
Sure.
Okay. Colin.
That's usually got like a really good price on it, so I'm gonna say 20. Is it high, closest
Highest
without
without
going over?
over.
I
Yeah,
will
or
say,
closest.
well, I'll go a dead 20 then.
Ready?
Yeah.
What's your soundbite for this? Or this?
Well, it depends if
No,
you're right or
oh.
wrong.
Yeah.
Well, no, one of you's right. So the actual retail price of the Castles of Burgundy is $27.
Aww.
So Colin gets a point.
I was thinking 26, but I didn't want to be over.
All right. So our
Remember, Celica said $73.
no. So our second game is Battlestar Galactica, the board game.
Ooh.
How much is this retailing for? On
Colin gets to
Amazon?
go first this
yes,
time.
Colin does
Oh,
get
yeah,
to go
yeah.
first.
So I will go with 70.
And Chris, Battlestar Galactica. the
So,
board game.
because I'm going second, I can ramble a bit and say that I don't know if this is still in print.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it's still in print. But when it was in print, it had an MSRP of $59.99.
Mm.
So that's hard to judge because it could be more because it's out of print, or it could be less because it's Amazon. I'm gonna just go even 50. Wait, what did you say?
I said 70.
You said 70. I'm gonna go 50.
The actual retail price.
You can also say if we both overbid too.
You did not.
Okay.
The actual retail price of Battlestar Galactica, the board game, is $247.
Whoa!
Colin gets a point.
So yeah, that one's out of
I
print.
think it is.
Yeah.
That's the only one that is. But
I thought it
listen,
was.
I was pandering to Philip, and
Yeah.
he's not here. So, okay.
Whoa!
So, our
Actually, Ember Celica won and said $72.
Nice.
all right. So, our
And Zach
third game.
Sorry, Zach was close at $300.
He's went over, though.
He went over,
Okay.
but he was still closest in the ballpark
Yeah.
All right. So, the third game, and this is the final game in this
in this round.
round, is Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
Oh God!
Oh, season 1.
Colin, how much is Pandemic Legacy Season 1 going for on Amazon right now?
I'm going to say 35.
Okay. And Chris.
I have no clue. This could be any. Well, it's probably going to be sub. What did you say?
35.
I'm gonna
Just
go.
happened.
I'm just gonna go $1, Bob.
And the actual retail price on Amazon of Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is $41.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
I am
That-
terrible at this
There's my
game.
noise.
All right. You might do better at this one.
No.
All right. So round 2. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. That's my Change music. This is higher or lower prices.
She also gets to be the model at the same time.
Yeah. Love it.
So this one is
Higher
these
or
are going to be
lower?
worth 2 points each.
Okay.
So the base game that we're
You're
going to
give
start
me a
with,
price. Is it
Yes.
higher? Okay.
So
Is this like the? Sorry, I'm talking for you. Go
so
ahead.
the base game where I'm going to give you a game and it's going to be your baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And everything after that, you're going to have to say whether it's higher or lower than the game that we just talked about. Okay. So the first game in our baseline is Great Western Trail. It is currently retailing on Amazon for $56.
Okay.
Mm.
So we'll go with Chris first. Chris, Spirit Island. Is it more expensive or less expensive than
Okay.
Great Western Trail?
So clarifications.
Yes.
Are we both going to say that? Like, am I going to get a guess?
No,
and then,
this
or are
is
we each
just
getting
you.
different games?
You're each getting
Okay.
different games.
And the starting was what?
$56.
$56
for
for
Great Western
Great
Trail.
Western Trail.
So now you're is Spirit Island
Spirit Island.
more or less than that?
Now I'm starting to second guess myself. Like, well, I thought it was this, so should I pick the opposite because I've not been doing well? Spirit Island. I'm gonna go lower.
It is lower. It is $55.
Yes.
So
Nice.
Chris gets 2 points.
Here,
All right.
Sorry. You need a good noise.
All right. So Colin, your game is Concordia. Does it cost more or less than Spirit Island?
And what was that at?
$55.
55. Okay. Concordia?
Concordia.
That's lower.
It is lower. It is $52. All right, Chris.
Okay.
The Voyages of Marco Polo.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So
It's a terrible
Could-
one for me.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Philip's not here. He screwed everything up. So Concordia was
No.
$52.
Oh, right. Okay.
What Voyages of Marco Polo, is it higher or lower than Concordia?
So Voyages of Marco Polo higher than $52 or lower? I'm gonna go higher than $52.
It is. It's $55.
Yes. So I can do approximations.
All right, Colin.
All
This
right.
one should have been for Chris, but Philip screwed everything up.
Mm.
All right. So, Brass Lancashire. Is it higher or lower than
Which
$55?
version? It's probably
It's the current
It's
one.
probably the normal
Brass
version.
the current-
Lancashire is
Yes.
the new one.
Well, no, I mean you got the deluxe Kickstarter, the deluxe
Oh.
edition versus the normal edition.
No, I'm
I'm
sure
assuming
just
it's
the
probably
normal.
the normal
It
edition.
did not say deluxe, so I'm guessing it's just normal. Yeah, so Brass Lancashire. Is
and
it
we're
high?
sitting at 55.
Marco Polo is 55, so is Brass Lancashire
Hmm.
higher or lower?
Let's go higher.
It is. It's $60.
Oh, I would have gotten it wrong. I thought it was lower.
All right, Chris. Star Wars Rebellion. Higher or lower than Brass Lancashire?
That's a hard one because MSRP is definitely above, but that thing gets discounted all the time.
Really?
But it's always in waves. Like it'll dip and then it'll be back up. So it's hard to say where. So it was $60
we were at
was
$60. Yes.
Oh man, I'm gonna go higher.
Yeah, that's my
It
vote.
is higher. It was 70. It's $78.
Okay, but like there have been times it's gone for like $40.
Mm.
So
All right, Colin.
All right.
Mansions of Madness, second edition.
Second edition.
Is it higher or lower than Star Wars Rebellion, which was $78?
Oh, man. Let's go higher.
It is. It's $90.
yeah, that one's
right.
not on much of a discount.
All right, so Chris, your next game is Rising Sun.
Mm.
Higher or lower than Mansions of Madness, which is at $90?
This is base game.
Base game,
No,
no Kickstarter.
No
Correct.
This is
extra goodness.
retail version.
Retail version of Rising Sun, yes.
Retail version, I'm gonna go lower.
It is. It's $80. All right, Colin. Feast for Odin.
Oh, man.
Is it higher or lower than Rising Sun at $80?
It's higher.
It is. It's $90.
It's on my wish list, so it pops up in my sidebar all the time.
All right, two more. Chris, Five Tribes. Higher or lower than A Feast for Odin, which is $90?
Normally, I would say it's lower. However, I don't know if that one's in print.
Mm.
I'm gonna say lower.
It is lower. It is only $40.
That's what I thought.
So
I
Colin,
was like it could have been like it was like the Battlestar Galactica. Like I don't know if I've seen anyone buy that game in a while.
all right, Colin, your last game is Clans of Caledonia.
Oh.
Is it higher or lower than Five Tribes, which is 40?
I got a nice stack of coins here. I want to maintain that.
Also,
Well, you're
none
not
of us
gonna lose them.
none of us have gotten this round wrong. So
You have
Yeah.
not. I'm impressed.
Let's go
don't screw it up.
higher.
It is. It's $43. Good job.
right,
All right,
right.
round 3. Now we're going to spin the whatever the wheel is called. But because we don't have a wheel, we're going to roll a 20-sided die.
Yay!
And the nice thing is the wheel is 20-sided. So
Is it really?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So we're aiming for 20 total.
So you're aiming for 20. You're going to get two rolls, but if you go over 20, then you bust and you get no points.
Okay.
So if you're high with your roll, you can choose to stop. But if
You get 2
Collin-
rolls,
you
right?
get 2 rolls, but you don't have to roll twice. It's you
Right,
know.
right, right.
Anyway, so
So does Colin roll first, or I forgot who goes first?
Collin rolls first because
You're the current lead.
he's the current leader. Yes,
All right.
That is
First
a
roll.
randomized D20.
and we're gonna add
This D20 would not have been.
no
Yeah.
whatever you roll is gonna get added to your total score.
Oh, jeez.
All right, let's do this.
He rolled an 11. Are you going to spin again, or are you going to?
I'm going to spin
stay?
again, Bob.
All right, he's spinning again.
I was told it was a Bob.
He got 10.
Ah!
He busted.
So all I gotta do is roll the dice.
You're going to roll a
Basically.
21 somehow.
Well, no, I mean, like, if I want to increase my points.
Yes. All right.
So
Chris.
wait. Does he get anything
He
added
gets
to his?
no points added to his score.
Okay.
He busted.
This is your chance to catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
8. Would you like to spin
I'm just
again?
gonna stay with my.
If you
8.
get exactly a 20, doesn't he get a bonus?
If you get exactly 20, you add 100 points.
100 points? You didn't think that through.
I didn't. I,
I
just
think
said
my
that on the
chances of
fly.
rolling a 12 are pretty low. I'm gonna stick with my 8.
All right, 8 points. Here, just take the die and put an 8 there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now we're on to the showcase showdown.
Wait, what does the 8 mean?
I got 8 points.
You got 8 points?
Yeah.
You didn't say that, did you?
I
Yeah,
did.
she did.
I said whatever you roll is going to get added to your point total.
Oh.
She said that before you
I
rolled.
would have stopped at 11. I thought it was the highest person was going to get points.
I told you.
Well,
I
it wouldn't
totally
matter.
would've
I
stopped.
still would have gotten 8 points.
I totally would have stopped with 11 points.
Oh my word. Okay, whatever. Collins, because I'm a little whiny baby. You should know that right now.
Yeah.
Because I am a little whiny baby.
Except for it needs to be called little birdie baby.
Yeah.
All
Imagine
right.
that down a
So
couple
we're into the
octaves.
showcase showdown.
So wait, do I have 11
And-
points?
No, because you busted.
You busted. You got 21.
The rules were not specified to me. You said them to
I
Chris,
Ember
said
not
them
me.
out
Amber
loud.
Celica said in the chat that she explained.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you, Ember Celica. All right. So, Chris, because you are currently in the lead, I
guess.
think. Because you got the same amount of points in round 2, and
Okay.
he only had 3 in round 1, so you're good. All right. So, after you've heard the showcase, you can either choose to play, which is guessing how much you think the total value is worth, or you could pass it to
Pass
Collin.
it to Colin for him to guess.
Mhm.
Right. And is it. So, how's this bit going to work points wise? Is it.
If you are within $50, you get 10 points.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you are within, if you get it without going over, you only get 5 points.
Okay. And you get nothing if you go over.
You get nothing if you go over. Yes. And if you get both, if you guess yours within if you guess it within 20 points, then and he doesn't, or vice versa, then you get both showcases.
What happens if I'm $1 off?
Like $1 over?
I was just making a
Oh,
joke.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
because of your
Point margin of error.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Amber Celica now in caps. They were explained.
All right,
I was
Chris.
maintaining buttons on the board here.
So,
Okay.
and your showcase,
Okay.
showcase number 1 is the Scythe Everything Bundle.
Ooh.
So included in this showcase is the base game. You also get the expansions, Rise of Fenris, Encounters, Invaders from Afar, and the Wing Gambit, and all promos. You also get the Legendary Box to house all of these wonderful materials.
Ooh.
Plus, you get the realistic resources, the metal coins, and both broken token organizers. How much is this showcase worth?
Hold on. Can I pull
In
out
other
my
words, how much has Chris spent on this game?
Can I pull out my bank receipts?
And this is by Amazon, by the way.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
these were available on Amazon.
So caveat: I may have spent more than.
Yeah.
And this is not. Yeah, this is not the Kickstarter value.
No.
Oh, so like a part of me wants to play because I have a decent chance of getting this, and but part of me wants to pass because it might be trouble for Collin. But I'm afraid then I'm gonna get some Western stump that I don't even have any clue at all.
Well, she did say the one showcase she cut was specifically tailored to Philip, so
Yeah.
the second one might be tailored to me.
Yeah. All right, I'll take this one.
All right. So you can do some calculating in your head, and when
Yeah.
you're ready, just
Am I allowed to
give me
pull
your
up a
answer.
calculator just so I don't have
you
to
can
do
pull
the
up a
math?
calculator, but you cannot
I will
look
not.
anything
I
up.
will not
okay?
look anything up.
Yeah, but no, you're
I'm-
welcome to add.
I'm
numbers.
only look. You could see I've just there you go. See, I just loaded a calculator.
All right, you can add numbers. I don't mind that.
We can just cut out the silence later.
Do, 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 do. No, I'm just kidding.
Wrong
Oh, are
music.
you waiting for me? I figured you could explain his while I'm doing.
We
math.
want you to be in awe of my showcase too.
Oh, well, I can.
I mean,
I
I
here.
can random jib jab while you're doing that. Okay, so people out there in Berselica, and I forget who else is out
If
watching.
you have a guess of how much you think the whole scythe package is worth,
Oh, I need
let
to
us
cover
know.
this up because they're.
Oh,
they're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying-
They're already
I'm gonna-
guessing, aren't
They're
they?
guessing. I got to minimize that.
I want
Chris, you idiot!
Well, technically, there's always
Like,
the people shouting in the
there
background.
are.
So
There are.
technically,
It's true.
all
That
right,
actually-
Four.
I'm pulling this back up.
Four.
But Colin would have an unfair advantage because he.
I can show it to him if he
$4.
wants.
Yeah. I love the people that do that.
No, 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 no. You're way off.
You're Barney Stinson
Yeah.
right now. So funny. That episode was hilarious. I like watching the wheels work.
I'm just imagining that same thing that Philip was talking about, the same meme with Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like all the lines going back and forth on the chart.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got this.
What are you doing? Oh, the chat thing or the meme thing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That.
All right. I'm gonna go an even $300.
Okay.
Mm.
Now we're gonna pass it over to
So,
Colin. Not
yeah.
for that thing, but for
Yeah,
his,
yeah.
and then I'll announce both your prices at the end. Colin, you, my dear, have the Rollin' Right special.
Ah.
So included in this special is Ganz Schön Clever, Doppelt, whatever you pronounce
Dopplet.
it. Dopplet,
Twice as clever.
Twice
so
as clever.
Railroad Ink Red and Blue editions.
Oh.
Welcome to expansion maps, Quicks, Steamrollers, Fleet the Dice Game, Harvest Dice, Rolling America. And when you're having Rollin' Rights, you must have a laminator. So included is a laminator and pouches.
Ooh, that's like
And
that's
you've
an X factor
also-
there.
And you've also got a pack of 12 fine tip dry erase markers with an eraser. How much is this showcase worth?
This is not fair. He didn't have nearly as many things in his.
Are you sure?
He
There
did.
was.
It's the exact same number of items.
There was.
But everything was scythe.
Yeah,
Unfair.
but all those Rollin' Rights you could average for $20 each.
All right, so I'm not allowed to look stuff up. Can someone look those up for me and put them in the chat? All right, so how many items were in there?
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, a laminator with pouches, and dry erase markers and an eraser.
Okay, I'm gonna average $20 a piece times 12, so we got 240. I'm gonna say 240.
240. And Chris's
I
was...
said 300. If this is gonna be like 290, I'm gonna be so mad.
All right. So Chris,
I think you're under.
the actual retail
Well, I know,
value,
but that was my point. Is I
Uh-huh.
wanted to be under.
the actual retail value of the Scythe Everything bundle is $407.
Okay, I wasn't that far off.
So you were
I was
$107
$107.
off. So Colin, your actual retail value, $345.
Oh man.
So Chris is our winner.
Yay!
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm
dun,
trying to-
dun,
There you go.
dun, 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 dun,
Sorry,
dun,
there's a
dun,
delay
dun,
on
dun,
this.
dun.
All right, you have to stop it. You have to
Congratulations,
stop it, or we
Chris.
get cut off YouTube.
There you
Oh,
go.
right. I forgot. Anyway, so yes,
So if
congratulations,
this video is
Chris.
not on YouTube, that's why.
I mean, you actually were both like, because you were. Oh,
So wait,
You
what
said
was it? What did you
200?
say? 240?
I said 240.
And what was the actual?
oh wait, Wait.
Yeah, I was
he
about
was
to say.
he was $105 off, and you were $107 off.
See, look at
So
this.
actually, Colin. Colin wins. Well, you technically each get 5 points because you were both.
So then I win.
Yeah.
Because I've got
'Cause you
more.
Because I didn't get my 11 that I thought I did.
Dude.
When we
I
discussed this
explained it.
earlier,
Man, doesn't it suck when small mundane details keep you from winning?
this isn't a mundane detail.
So you want to know what Phillips would have been?
What?
Phillips was the All Hail Cthulhu starter set.
That's more like mine.
I know.
I love that from
But,
The
yeah,
Office.
for Office
but I
Space.
wanted
Yeah,
to do
Office
sides
Space,
for
yeah.
you.
Huh?
No, you're fine. No.
Oh, okay.
It was good. Yeah, I was. The problem is the Amazon prices because I know most of the MSRP prices for that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I was having to like undershoot, and I wasn't sure what to undershoot by.
Yeah, it was actually, most of it was directly from Stonemeyer. Like, somehow I guess they have a deal with Amazon. I don't know.
They do. They do some direct ship stuff.
Yeah, so most of them were, like, directly from Stonemeyer, which was pretty cool.
So how much was it? Wait, the Scythe one was $407.
Yeah.
Guys, I definitely have not paid that much. Thank God.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
The all-in bundle.
Well, so something I think Railroad Ink is out of stock or is out of print because it was $75 for both Railroad Inks.
I think it's the.
That's why I was off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of them, like the blue version was $60 by itself, and then the red version was like $40, and
That's
then
because nobody wants the red version.
and then there was like a group together that was $75.
Of the expansions, the blue looked more fun than the red. I've only played the blue. I haven't played the red.
Right, because
but
the red was the volcanoes or
yeah,
something.
the
and
red's
blue
where
was
the red's
lakes.
more destructive on.
Mhm. It's the Intrigue board.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
it's not destructive on other. It's just you're still working with your own board.
Of course, yeah. But it's you got keywords destructive and nobody likes it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. Price is Right.
All right, I had to lose a game sometime.
That was loud. sorry.
That's true. He was
All
just
right, then.
softballing me.
All right.
Cindy threw me a softball so that like I can't complain about you always winning games.
Really, she like unplugged my headphones when she explained that rule.
Oh my word.
That's why everyone else heard it but me.
Oh my word.
Okay, so that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all we got. So,
I'm gonna let you officially say that.
all right, that wraps up our episode for this week. Philip's not here, so I have to talk for him. That if you like this show, then you need to come back here this Wednesday probably. Boardsandswords.com/live to see our other show, Dirtbags of Holding, where we play RPGs in the worst way possible.
If you do like this show, though, you can email us comments and questions at feedback@boardsandswords.com. You can follow us on Instagram at boardsandswordspod or on Facebook at facebook.com/boardsandswordspod. And you can also follow our individual accounts. I am Cindy Pastorius on Twitter and Instagram.
I am Callcakes196 on both of those.
You can find me, Chris the Prof, on Twitter and Instagram.
And Phil is Phil the Dirtbag on Twitter.
And we are also a part of the Dice Tower Network, which has all kinds of gaming podcasts. You can check out other gaming podcasts like this one. And Cool Stuff Inc. is a sponsor of the network, and they do a lot to support. And you can go to coolstuffinc.com to find all sorts of awesome gaming deals all the time.
Lastly, thank you all for downloading and listening and watching this show. Make sure you go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/boardsandswords. But in the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and Colin likes waving his fingers in the air, apparently.
That's how I think.
It's okay. I tend to I talk with my hands sometimes, too.
People say I've got a good point. That's what they're talking about. I'm actually pointing.
Would you say it's a point salad?
I should try doing that. Oh, wait. That's got me thinking in dark places now. Like, is it just my fingers in the salad?
Oh, no.
Maybe it's Cheerios. That's a point salad because it's a bunch of dots.
Oh yeah. It's my Cheerio. What is it? My alphabets have a message. It says ooh.
Those are Cheerios, Peter.
Is that from Family Guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as you said the name Peter, I'm like, yeah, it has to be.
All right,
Goodbye, everybody.
Later, folks. Thanks for yelling at me.